Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Bolu Atife. To all my returning subscribers, thank you so much for coming back. And if you are new here, kindly please hit on the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you get notified whenever I post a new video. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to draft a basic corset pattern. If that sounds like something you're interested in, keep on watching and let's get started. So guys, I already have all the material we're going to be needing for this tutorial on the table. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place this aside, and these are all the measurements we're going to be needing for this tutorial. So now you can see I folded my pattern into two. Just go ahead and fold your pattern into two. Now the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is to just draw a straight line across, which will serve as my shoulder line. So from the shoulder line, I came down to my bust point, which is 10 inches. And also I'm going to come down to my under bust, which is 13.5 inches, and then to my waistline. After that, I'm going to draw a straight line across those points and label those lines: the shoulder line, the bust line, the under bust line, and then the waistline. So guys, on the shoulder line, I came in by 3 inches for the neck width, and I'm going to come down by 3 inches as well for the neck depth. So I'm going to use my curve rule to create a round neckline. This is just a basic neckline. So after doing that, from the shoulder line again, I'm going to divide my shoulder measurement into 2 equal halves, which will give me 7.5 inches. So go ahead and divide your shoulder measurement by 2. Now from this point, I'm going to come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. And I'm just going to connect it into the neckline. The next thing is to determine my armhole depth, and how I normally do this is to divide my bust measurement by 6 and add 1.5 inches to it. So I have 7.6 inches for mine, and then I made a point. After doing that, I'm going to rule a straight line across and then rule a line to meet the shoulder slope. So this line here is going to be the chest line. So just go ahead and do the same thing. Now I'm going to divide the measurements I have here into 2 equal halves and made a point, and from this point I'm going to go in by half of an inch. After that, on the chest line, you're going to divide your bust measurement by 4 and made a point there. So my bust measurement divided by 4, I use that to make a point on the chest line. Now I'm going to use my curve rule to join the 3 points together, just the way you see me doing. Now coming down to the top of my shoulder here on the front part, I'm going to divide what I have here into 2. Now coming down to the bust line, you're going to divide your nipple to nipple measurement into 2. For me, that divided into 2 is 3.5 inches. So I'm marking that 3.5 inches on the bust line, under bust line, and the waistline. After that, I'm going to join all these points together like this with my straight ruler, and then from the bust point into the shoulder. The next step is for me to come to this bust point again, and I will measure what I have here from the bust point to the under bust. You see, I have 3.5 inches there, and I'm going to be using that 3.5 inches to create a circle. So guys, you see how I'm doing it. I'm going to keep measuring 3.5 inches, making sure that the tape is on the tip. It's not moving out from that tip area, so that you're able to have an accurate circle. So I'm just going to keep doing this until I'm creating the circle. I'm sorry, my circle is not showing clearly because I'm using a pen, but just go ahead and do the same thing you see me doing right now. So on the waistline here, I'm going to go in by 0.75 on the both sides. I will do the same thing on the under bust as well. After doing that, I'm just going to connect these 2 points together. Now on the bust point, I'm going to come down by 1 inch and made a point. So I'm going to use my curve ruler to create a curve from the under bust to meet that 1 inch point. And I will repeat the same thing on the other side as well. After that, the next thing is to determine how deep you want your neckline to be. You can decide to maintain the chest line or come down by some inches. So for me, I'm going to come to the chest line and go down by half an inch, and then I will go in by half an inch and connect the dots. I'm going to come to this under bust and measure what I have there. I have 1.5 inches, and I will add half an inch to it, which will give me 2 inches altogether. Now I'm going to be showing these 2 inches on this upper circle line here. I will measure in 3/4 of an inch, and the remaining part of the 2 inches, you're going to measure it to the other side and made a dot. So whatever you get, share it in a way that it's unequal. So you give the smaller part to the side going towards the center front and the bigger part to the side going towards the side front. So after doing that, you connect it to meet the bust point. So I will connect from the under bust to meet the half an inch point, and then to meet the upper part. So I'm going to measure what I have in between here and divide it into 2. And from that point, I will come down by half an inch and made a point. So I'm going to rule a straight line to meet the end. This will be our new chest line. So I will connect from this point to meet the half an inch point, and then from this line to meet the under bust. So this is basically all for this. The two cups are now formed. Now I'm going to start adding all my body measurements. So I'll measure my bust measurement divided by 4, and then I'll measure what I have here, which is 2 inches, and then replace it back. And then I'll be adding another extra 1.5 inches for my sewing allowance. So after that, I'll come to the waistline and do the same thing. Measure the waist measurement divided by 4, and then I'll measure what I have here, which is 1.5 inches, and replace it. And then I'll be adding extra 1.5 inches for my sewing allowance, and then connect this point with my ruler. So I'm marking in 1.5 inches, which will serve as my sewing allowance, and then I'll connect it with my straight ruler. So I'm going to label it before cutting in order not to get confused. So this is my center front and this is my side front. So guys, after doing this, now I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. Searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way, yeah. Birds jumping and I hear my name, grasping into a life. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must be happy but it's so insane. So guys, this is what I have after I was done cutting it out. You can see all the pieces. To draft the back pattern, I mark 1.5 inches for my zipper allowance, and then I rule a straight line across. So from the shoulder, I came down to my bust point, which is also 10 inches, and then from the shoulder to my waist. After that, I will rule a straight line across those points. Now on the shoulder line, I'm going to mark my shoulder measurement divided by 2, which is 7.5 inches. And then I'm going to come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. After that, I'm just going to connect a slant line into the shoulder line. So from the shoulder slope, I went down by 7.6 inches for my armhole depth. And then I rule a straight line across and then rule a line to meet the shoulder slope. So this is the chest line, the bust line, and then the waistline. After that, you will use the same step I used for the front pattern to get your armhole curve. So now I'm going to divide my nipple to nipple measurement into 2, which is 7 divided by 2 is 3.5 inches. From the zipper allowance, I'm going to mark it on the bust line and then the waistline. On the waistline, I will go in by half an inch on the both sides, and then I will connect it into the bust point. So now I'm going to bring my front pattern and trace out the new chest line. Now I'm going to use my curve ruler to rule a curve from the bust line to meet this straight line, just the way you see me doing. The next thing to do is to start adding all my body measurements. So on the bust line, I'm going to divide my bust measurement divided by 4 and then add extra 1.5 inches for my sewing allowance. On the waistline, I'm going to divide my waist measurement divided by 4 and I'm going to replace the dart intake here and replace it back. And then I'll be adding extra 1.5 inches for my sewing allowance. So I'll go ahead and connect all these points together. Now at the zipper allowance on the end of the waistline, I'm going to go in by 1 inch to avoid the boldness that you normally have at the back after fixing your zipper. So I'm just going to connect a straight line into the bust line. Once you are through with this, just go ahead and cut it out. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. So I'm marking in 1.5 inches, which will serve as my sewing allowance, and then I'll connect it with my straight ruler. So this is basically all for this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys found it helpful, and don't forget to like, share, comment, and hit the subscribe button to get notified whenever I post a new video. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.